Hello and welcome back to this week's edition of the WCS Sports Connection Game Day Show. I'm your co-host Jeremy Qualls, and with me as always is the co-host Tate Mathews. As we start our Athletic Director series, we're going to start with Coach Ronnie Seigenthaler, Athletic Director, head girls coach, head track coach, many hats that you wear at the Brentwood High School. Coach, thank you for coming today.
My pleasure.
Let's talk about the athletics program at Brentwood High School, what the Bruins have done up to this point. Let's start in the fall season, starting with volleyball. You got off to a very good start with the volleyball program.
Barbara Campbell, again, continues to reload. It was a tremendously successful season. Went through the district with a championship, went through the region with a championship, able to host the sub-state for a win and take it to the state tournament site. I'm a little hesitant to say, but it was at Siegel High School, and we know that there was a little bit of a concern there. Nevertheless, prevailed, got their 10th state title.
Yeah, we talked about that all during the volleyball season and how they were on a collision course with Siegel, and that the Siegel was hosting and the kids were there. That semifinal game where they hooked up, it looked like a basketball state championship game. I bet there was probably close to 2,000 people there. It was, just so loud. Every point counted, and it was great the way they defeated Siegel on their home turf. And then the Brentwood section started chanting "Go back to class," made it even better.
Absolutely.
And as Tate always says, one for the thumb. Barbara Campbell wins her 10th state championship.
Absolutely.
Yes, she did, and it's so fun. Volleyball, I think, is so fun to watch as a spectator sport. But the thing that I love about it, we're hearing it in football now, that it's going the other way now, multi-sport athletes. And you see so much specialization in volleyball. But I love seeing that with this team. This team they won with girls that were playing two sports. Obviously one you know very well, Jenny Roy.
Absolutely.
If not the best volleyball player in the mid-state, one of them. Obviously one of the best basketball players. So that had to be fun watching you all do that with athletes that you're sharing.
And that's something that we try to solicit at Brentwood High School in our athletic program, is to share these athletes, because they're just of that caliber. They're just not a dime a dozen. They're very rare, and if we can share from one season to the next, you see the result.
You made note to Jenny Roy. You said she's probably the best volleyball player. I'm going to go on record and say she's probably the best female athlete
Absolutely.
in the mid-state, if not the state, and rightfully so. I was very happy to see that she made the all-state tournament, all-state team that came out, and that's fantastic for her. Volleyball player. I mean, she's going to further her career at Belmont University. Look forward to seeing how that folds out. So the volleyball team wins the state championship there. Football, we made a transition now. Coach Ron Crawford coming back from the depths. I've enjoyed getting to know Coach Crawford. And tell us a little preview of what's to come with Coach Crawford, the energy that has been brought with him since he's come on board.
It's the same energy that we had the 10 years that we were together. He is the Energizer Bunny. You just peel one layer back, and there's another one. It took less than 48 hours. Early in January when he got on board, it was like he'd never left. He was, and I looked at him and I go, welcome home. But you were here for 10 years. You were our head coach for 10 years. We still don't know why you left. You still don't know why you left, but you're back. And he's back. And that energy is there. That commitment to work is there. To build a staff is there. To a level of excellence with the players is being introduced his way.
Well, it's a lot like Coach King didn't leave, but Coach King stepped away for 4 years.
Correct.
Came right back. I mean, and now look what's happened. I don't know if this means he's going to go to 3 state championship games, but it's just like, you're right, it was a good fit. Brentwood knew him. He knew Brentwood. It's where he needs to be. But the good coaches, they can step right back in and pick right up where they left off.
And once again, it energized the community along the way. I'm sure that the student body, the kids that were on the fringes of thinking about quitting or even playing, have now made a decision based on the fact that Coach Crawford is already hard at work, getting kids in. I've seen the motivation. I've seen him in the weight room. I've seen the things that he's bringing. Like you said, nothing but energy.
The highest compliment that he could be paid, the exiting seniors, the comments that they have. Oh, I wished.
Oh, yeah.
I had that opportunity.
Yeah.
So what a compliment.
Well, and the thing that, and Coach Sig knows, because you were in there a couple periods a day with him, but, as the head football coach, head basketball coach, whatever, you can't ever be down. You got to be up every day. That's one of the biggest things about being a weight room coach too. It's energy every single day. He does both. He coaches the weights every single day, and then after school he's the head football coach. I mean, you can't not be down, and he brings it every day.
Well, the three of us sit here and we have a hobby. We have a therapeutic place that we go, whether it's playing golf, whether it's fishing, whether it's hunting, whatever. Ron Crawford's hobby is going to weight training clinics. That's where he wants to be. He may attend more weight training clinics than he does football clinics. He wants to be on the cutting edge, and he brings that knowledge.
Right.
And with knowledge comes his passion.
Well, that moves us into the golf. Now, Brentwood going in, golf being top dog, probably the group favorite to win the state championship. Would you agree or disagree on the boys' side?
On the boys' side, I would have to agree with that statement, at least in this Middle Tennessee area. There's some communities that would argue that, but we don't hear their argument because we're right here in Middle Tennessee.
So take us through the golfing season.
New golf coach. And the golf coach that we were able to hire is an excellent biology teacher. Prior to that, he had 10 years as the head instructor at Callaway Gardens in Georgia. So resume stood tall.
Right.
And what does he bring? He brings the absolute knowledge needed to golfers, the mental approach to the scoring phase of the game, short game and putting, how to score.
And that's interesting. And if you've ever had the opportunity to see Callaway Gardens, and I've had the opportunity, fortunate enough to play this place, I mean, you're talking about an unbelievable Ross course, point A, point B. It didn't serve me too well. You need to hit it to point A to make sure you have that shot in. I was hitting it at point C most of the day, and I struggled. But anyway, that being said, that type of facility, to be able to have that quality of an instructor, and we now have him in the school system, pays huge dividends down the road.
Simply because he can make those investments, then know who's coming back next year, male and female, have a chance to evaluate, address areas of need, and service those needs.
So we go into the golf, into the boys' side, but going to the state tournament.
Correct.
Nolan Ray has signed with
University of Tennessee.
And take us through the lineup there, the top 4 or 5 guys that participate.
You've got Nolan Ray, then you've got Hayden Goodhart. Hayden is going to play at King's College. You got Cameron Smith. Cameron's going to UT Martin to play. There were probably about 5 recognizable names that on any given day, whoever had the hot putter was going low. And low by anybody's definition, not by our definition.
And in the state tournament, it proved to be that way because Cameron Smith, Nolan Ray probably being the favorite going in, Cameron Smith plays well, gets into a sudden death playoff with a state championship individual, loses on the playoff, but the unbelievable comeback. Day one didn't bode very well for Brentwood, had to come from 11 strokes back and came back knocking on the door, came back with a fury, and just fell just a little bit short and ended up getting runner-up. But still a successful year for the Brentwood golf program.
Oh, a tremendously successful year.
And on the girls' side?
Young in spots, limited in spots, but as Coach Bud Robinson did, got the best out of what he had. And we were excited about that.
And, it's very neat that a lot of times in some of these minor sports, when you have somebody who's got that skill set, they're not in the building. And so to have him in the building, as you mentioned, he's teaching biology there. So he's got the chance to see these kids during the day and maybe even, have to do a lot of recruiting for a golf team, especially at Brentwood. But, he's getting to see them during the day. Maybe, hey, I heard you play golf. Why aren't you out?
Right.
You can't put a price tag on that.
No, and walk across the street, the parking lot to Brentwood Middle School.
Right.
Find out who's on that golf roster and to make sure that they're more than welcomed. And here's some things that you can do in the off season to prepare yourself for the tryouts.
And to think about that, you've got 3 golfers inside the building that are going on to play golf at the collegiate level, 2 of them being Division I. Most people don't even have a single golfer in their school history to play Division I. You've got 3 this year. So, I mean, that puts together a special team. Do we have something to look forward to next year, underclassmen that are going to be vying for those spots?
Again, because you had such talent at the top, the middle tier or the next tier they're very talented. They just didn't get the opportunity to get into the rotation because of the strength.
Girls soccer. Let's move to girls soccer. The final fall sport there. How do we do in girls soccer at Brentwood High School?
Third in a very competitive district, which our district will typically send one, if not two, to the state tournament. And when you are third, you're looking outside in, because in soccer, the format is only two go.
Only two go. And the thing about it is, it's something that I kind of hang our hat on from a sports conference perspective, is that we have had a state qualifier at every single sport up until this point, which to some may not be a big deal in WCS because we want to win more so, but I think that's something to hang our hats on regardless, that we've got at least a participant in. On top of that, you guys have the only gold ball, first place right now, state championship with volleyball. And now you have obviously the runner-up with the basketball, what we'll get to in just a second. But moving on into the winter side of things.
Well, let's don't forget about cross country.
And cross country runner-up. I apologize. Cross country's runner-up. Boys golf runner-up. Brentwood right now at this point is by far the most successful, which translates into Director's Cup points.
Oh, that's right.
Right now, the Director's Cup is a new thing to WCS. A lot of people are asking, what is it? It's one of those things that we're building up to. You know, it's not exactly being promoted heavily right now because we want it to be a big thing starting next year. But the Director's Cup is going to be given at the Wilcos. And right now, sitting in first place is Brentwood, trailing in second place. I'm not going to give it away how many points, but Ravenwood's on your heels. But right now, given what you've done in the fall and in the winter, you have put yourself in pretty good the driving seat.
I would prefer to be in the seat that we're in versus the other seat.
That's right.
So speaking of cross country, before I accidentally skipped over those guys, cross country goes in as a team, gets the state runner-up.
Correct.
In AAA level. So
and again, you were talking about the success from one year to the next. Brentwood won the state championship in cross country last year, and we graduated 4 seniors, and all 4 went to D1 schools to run track and field
You
and cross
dominated
country.
cross country.
Well, we
last year.
really did. We just those 4 seniors,
Yeah.
and then they were
Nationally ranked.
they were nationally ranked, and then we were complimented by the rest of the supporting team. And how was Brentwood going to do when it was their turn without the big fabulous 4?
runner-up.
Well, you saw how we did.
Runner-up. And it's an interesting note, they were national ranked. Volleyball team finished in the top 5, finished number 4 in the national rankings, Max Preps poll, which is incredible. It's awesome. And, you know, if you'd have done just a little bit better from the AD spot, we could have had a state championship in golf, cross country, and volleyball up to this point. And if you'd helped Dennis just a little bit more in basketball too,
Yeah.
Brentwood, this could have been the season that not anybody would have forgotten. I mean, this could have been it. But I'm just giving you a hard time because you're only limited at what you can do, right?
is
So,
correct.
but anyway, as we move into the winter sports, extremely successful fall outing for Brentwood High School. We move into the winter. You know, will it be a letdown? What's going on? You come in favored, obviously, at the girls and boys position in basketball. What a fun year it was from our seats. Now, I know that probably added some gray hairs to you, but what a fun season it was for the Brentwood Lady Bruins and Bruins program in basketball.
Well, in fairness to the gray hair comment, Dennis King has volunteered. He's going to receive all gray hairs and allow me to continue my Dick Clark impersonations where I'm basically ageless.
Yeah.
There you go.
But it was a great year. What a run, to say the least. We were very blessed. Good teams that are willing to be coached and do what we ask. And the ball went our way a couple of times.
Yeah, and let's start real quick before we get into the basketball. Let's talk about bowling real quick. This is a sport that not many people know about, and you have a highly, highly touted, highly ranked bowler at Brentwood High School.
He came in as a freshman. And again, this was one of the, well, in my 30 years with TSSAA, bowling was sanctioned quicker than any new sport I'd ever been around.
Right.
It was a club sport for 2 to 3 years, then all of a sudden it's sanctioned. So then bowling comes in, and we have a young bowler. His freshman year, he finished as an individual state champion. His sophomore year, he was 7th. His junior year, he was 4th. So this is a very talented young man, and a freshman girl this year made it and qualified individually to the state tournament well. So we had both bowling programs represented male and female.
Do you think it might have helped that he had his own couple lanes in his house? I mean,
Didn't hurt.
It
I can
probably
assure
didn't
you, it
hurt.
did not
So,
hurt.
you know,
I wanna
hey,
go to that.
I'm going to go, you know, hey, games to commercial. I'm going to go get a couple sets in real quick. I'll be right back. You know, interesting how you can walk down the hallway. But nonetheless, I mean, it's obvious. It's great for our conference. It's great for the school that we've got these kids that are nationally known, ranked, and hopefully state champions before they leave Brentwood High School. When we come back, we're going to continue our conversation with Athletic Director at Brentwood High School, Ronnie Seigenthaler. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Hello folks, I'm Bill Fitzgerald with the Franklin Rodeo. The Franklin Noon Rotary Club this year is fighting domestic violence with our Man Up Crusade on May 15th. So wear your purple on Friday night and help us fight domestic violence and support Bridges of Williamson County. Get your tickets at franklinrodeo.com.
Hello and welcome back to WCS Sports Connection Game Day. We're here with Brentwood Athletic Director Ronnie Seigenthaler. Coach Sig, let's finish out our winter sports. Over them to wrestling. Had an extremely successful wrestling year, just like everything else at Brentwood High School athletically right now. Let's talk about Tristan Roa and the Brentwood wrestling team and kind of the year that they had.
Well, it was basically summed up at the state wrestling match. We sent 5 wrestlers, 5. And with only 5 wrestlers, we finished 5th in the state on team points. Whereas those that finished above us had double.
Cleveland, for instance.
Correct.
Cleveland had 12.
And then somebody else that's going to compete for the title, 11, 10. Again, with just 5 wrestlers. So that tells you the number of success, or excuse me, that number is a indicator for the success. But of the 5 wrestlers, we had a state champion, we had a state runner-up, we had someone come out of the consolation bracket to get to the medal stand. If I'm not mistaken, please correct me. I know 4 medaled on the medal stand, but did all 5 medal?
Let's see, Graham brothers, Luke Hamilton, Tristan Roa, and
The other brother.
the other brothers.
So 4 of the
So 4 of the
5
5.
made it on the medal stand.
Right.
Which is
Phenomenal.
Impressive.
Phenomenal.
And like you said, you place 5th, and for those that don't know, there's 2 different styles of wrestling. You have your duels, and then you have your individual. And this was during the individual, and they collectively take the top scores and have a point system value to it, and then all of a sudden, Brentwood sitting in 5th place with 5 wrestlers. How impressive that when you have 7 other more chances with Cleveland having 12 to get up there and get points for the team. So that's impressive. Great job for the wrestling team. Tristan Roa is crowned state champion in
His weight division.
his weight class.
Luke Hamilton,
120.
runner-up.
I think he's 120. I think.
Okay.
Tristan.
Okay.
And successful once again. Another program successful for Brentwood in the winter. So that moves us into basketball. So let's talk about the basketball, man. It's kind of like football. You get into a situation where you're watching district play and you're really uncertain how good anybody is. I always felt that during the season, you and Dixon were obviously the girls on the girls' side were better than everybody. Ravenwood, throw them in the mix as well. On the boys' side, you kind of felt, they're pretty good, not bad. If you've ever been exposed to West Tennessee basketball, you never really thought they could probably compete as well as they did. But then all of a sudden, they get outside that district, they get in region play, and then you get outside of region, you get in sub-state, and you go sub-state to state, and you see what happens, and you're like, man.
Well, on the basketball side, dear to your heart, you get it. When you get outside your district play, it's a blessing because the things that you can hang your hat on, defensive strategies, offensive strategies, you get to play those cards. Because when you're in league play, in district play, you're playing everybody twice, sometimes 3 times. There's no secrets. There's no gimmicks. There's no tricks. Everybody's prepared for everything that you can possibly throw at them. So region play, sub-state play, state tournament play, you're excited because that backdoor play is going to work. This out-of-bounds play is going to work. They've not seen that. So what? They saw it on film. They went over it in practice. They don't know the timing and the execution of it.
Right. Well, during Ravenwood's run in football, we knew that we had some quality football teams. They're running the gauntlet every week, playing each other, beating each other up, if you will. It's kind of like the SEC.
Yes.
Then once you got out, we kind of thought Ravenwood had a shot. Never realized that they were going to roll through like they did. Same way with the basketball. We go through the district tournament. Let's talk on the boys' side for a minute. You see the teams that we had. Summit and Indy both are going to be extremely difficult to beat next year. I think South is going to be strong. Going to be those two teams have all those returning guys with some experience now, and then you throw in the fact Centennial's growing as well. Franklin losing a little bit, be interesting, but their JV squad, their freshman squad has played well. You get to Brentwood, 3 years in a row knocking on the door. 3 years in a row, keep on trucking. And then you have this team that you put together special. You got Tapp, you've got Bautista, not to even talk about Jalen Lawson and what Grant Teichman bring to the table. So fun to watch those guys all the way through the run. What did it mean to your school, your culture, and, just going through 31 years, a 31-year drought that our county has had in the state championship game?
From the historical side, it's terribly exciting. But from the prideful side of Brentwood athletics, there's nothing better to see the student body embrace basketball, to come out on a Tuesday night, to come out on a Friday night. You saw the tweet that went nationwide about the student section when we were playing Ravenwood. One side was 75% were just students.
Right.
They'd run the adults to the other side. The reputation that our basketball fans developed of being there's no better student body to support their program, that was exciting. There were themes for games. Blue out, white out, black out, Hawaii night.
Yeah.
It was just exciting. Good. It doesn't get any better on the high school level.
It was fun, and the thing I like is that you're both. There's a lot of schools where either the girls' program's good and the boys not, or the boys and the thing that this boys' season was so exciting. So was yours, but both of you all now 5 straight years of 20+ win seasons on the boys and the girls' side. That's not. I don't even know if Blackman has that. Now,
I can tell you from a coaching perspective how hard. It's just like you can go to Coach Cal this morning and say, how hard is it to get into that game? How hard is it to get to that 20th win, especially in a district like what you played in this year? That in itself speaks volumes about Brentwood High School basketball.
Well, and again, the district and the competitiveness of the league. We were 11-1. Dennis lost a couple within the district. It's just you just can't run that table because everybody loads up for each other. And we've been blessed. Our players come into the system and they know we're doing it a certain way, and they buy into this is the way we do it. This has been our blueprint for success, and we've been blessed.
It's proven, yeah. And I think you all are a school that you have to do that.
We do.
You're not going to go out and be able to go one-on-one versus Hamilton.
No.
And the other thing I thought was so neat. I wasn't there. I was listening to it online on the way down. And I mentioned Terry and Stormy. They're unbelievable. They had me. I felt like I was there. But spring break, obviously, most of the kids at Brentwood High are probably going somewhere. That I was worried the turnout you all had for a Saturday when everybody got out of school the day before. That was amazing.
Being on the floor, looking up at our student section for the quarterfinals, over 900. Semifinals, over 1,000. And then I turned to Bernard Childress, the executive director, and go, Bernard, I wished I could tell you. I just don't know what's going to happen. We're on spring break after this ball game. And I was pleasantly pleased with the turnout that we had from the student section that bumped their plans back. Go to the ball game, then we'll start our spring break on that Saturday. And then from the fans' perspective, our adult crowd and support was tremendous. I looked up and I saw players from 17 years prior that had come in just to support and see.
Now, I've only been a part of this program for 6 months, and I say this program, this county, and I have no prior ties. And obviously, I engulf. I bought in. Yeah. I bought in hook, line, and sinker during football. See, I just love to see our programs succeed. But the chill bumps that go into this game, I cannot tell you. At one point in time, I look over, and me and Kydell have about knocked each other down from hugging. 2 grown men. Here's the principal of the school. We're hugging. He's got tears coming down. Teichman hits the and one, and I'm always a pessimist. I'm still thinking, don't get too excited because we went through the Ravenwood process during football season. We get to the Brentwood game, and I'm saying the whole entire time, we're down 13. Here they come. 2-minute mark, you cut it to 6. Minute to go.
5 straight threes.
Yeah, boom, boom, boom. They're playing, and I'm trying not to get excited. and Kydell's over here, he's going nuts, and I'm sitting there. When Teichman hits the and one, we lost it. I mean, both of us. We're hugging. I'm acting like I'm an alumni, but it's so awesome to be a part of. And to see those guys come back is a testament to what Brentwood High School athletics means, not only to the students, but to the community, because they came out of the woodwork for this game, rightfully so, to pay homage to Dennis King and to Brentwood Athletics and to the basketball team. So neat to watch. And hats off to Hamilton. They had one more bucket better than in this particular game, but it could have gone either way. And I hate it for Dennis, hate it for Coach King, because it's just that process of going and reevaluating and saying, okay, next year we have to start this process all over.
The same coach for those decades never made it to Murfreesboro, and then 3 consecutive years, and then to the state finals.
Yeah.
So
he's already got his saying for next year.
Yes, he does.
Back for more.
That'd be awesome.
And I love it.
4 more.
I love it. I mean, I love it, and that's the part
He
of
can
it.
do it. Hey, and you want to talk about no ego? I love no ego, man. It's one program, and this guy, you left out one job. He's got one more job. Here they are. The boys team, unbelievable. He's the AD. Is he sitting up there in the AD booth with Bernard? No, he's the bus driver for the boys when they make it to the state tournament. It's a tradition. They go to Chick-fil-A. He's got the bus warmed up, ready to go, and you wouldn't have been anywhere else.
And I'm sorry, I didn't mean to sell you short, but there's so many things that you do behind the scenes. There's a lot of people that could have been jealous. There's a lot of people that could have been envious. There's a lot of people that would say, yeah, maybe I'll go, maybe I'll not. But you're driving the bus. You're leading the crowd in cheers. You're down there on the floor. You're making sure everything is perfect so Dennis doesn't have to worry about that. You can't put a price tag on that.
It goes back to our coaching staff and then our staff's philosophy. It's Team Brentwood. If I were to ask Coach King for a favor, I would know I'd get it. He asked me that first year, absolutely, Coach, whatever else I can do for you.
And I think that's a testament to your success athletically. Let's talk. I mean, you go in. Hopefully, if you hang on, you win the Director's Cup in the first year there at the Wilcos, and I think that's a testament. And I know you well enough, and I know Brentwood well enough that once you get that and you host that cup and you put it up in your school, you're not going to want to relinquish it to anybody.
Oh no! There's the TSSAA offers up the AF Bridges Award, and there are some criteria for that. Every year, I meet with our coaches as an entire staff to remind them of the things that they're looking for in that AF Bridges Award.
Well, we have real short time. Real quick, spring outlook. We have about 30 seconds.
Busy time of the year. Weather is never a teammate. It's always someone that challenges. All your sports are outside. We've got opportunity after opportunity to be successful, and our coaches are doing everything they can to succeed.
I know that we've got tennis, baseball, softball, track, soccer on the boys' side. I mean, there's never a day that goes by that you cannot come out and see a Brentwood athletic contest at any given day.
It's rare that the lights are not on. We're hosting some venue somewhere.
Well, Sig, I appreciate you joining.
Thank you, Jeremy.
This was great.
Thank you.
Athletic
Thank you,
Director Ronnie Seigenthaler of the Brentwood High School Bruins, hopefully the first ever WCS Directors Cup winner. We'll see you next time. This has been WCS Sports Connection Game Day. We'll see you next time.
Wicked Technology by S.R. Lee. Wicked technology, tripping up wise, experienced, competent, skilled old folks.